Well, hey, everybody. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing great. Yesterday, well, first of all, I'm probably going to be off my game today because I have blood work. As soon as I get done here, I got to run around. It's only like 10 minutes to drive over to the doctor, but I got to give blood for my annual. And I haven't had any coffee. No food, no coffee. So I lost my 8x12 hoop somewhere. We were working with it yesterday. Hi, Vicki. Good morning. Yeah, crafting. Shay, I got your email. I haven't responded to him. You like my hair? Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, got it done yesterday. So yesterday at 1 p.m. my time, I had a Hoop Sisters event. And oh my goodness, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And we just sat and visited just like all of us do. And I was stitching their new design called Reindeer Games. I really encourage you guys, go to hoopsisters.com and sign up for their emails so you know when their new designs come out. And so I was doing that and showing them how I had done it and everything. And we were stitching it together and whatnot. But the thing is, yesterday morning with y'all, I was working on Kimberbell, right? So before I could be ready, and I was at the hairdresser's at 10:30, and I was like, I have got to be home by 12:30 so I could be sure everything is ready to go for my 1 o'clock, right? So when I got home, I was doing the stash and dash. Y'all know what that is, right? Somebody's coming over. So clean it all up and shove it somewhere. And I had to get rid of all things Kimberbell from behind me because you don't want to be doing a Hoop Sisters thing with Kimberbell in the background, right? So thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Yeah, my hair is kind of tousled this morning. This is what we got going on. She just lightened it up with some highlights a little bit. I'm very happy. She did a good job. Yeah. So anyway, and she cut it. So my 8x12 hoop was part of that stash and dash. And I don't know where it went. I have the corrugated plastic to it. That I have. Not a big deal. We have a 9x14, but that is why I am using a larger hoop this morning. Plus, if you want me to be on my game and find something, I need to have coffee. And I have had by now, I've usually had 2 working on my 3rd cup. It'll show up when I'm not looking for it. You're right, Cheryl. It sure will. Stash and dash all the time. I know, Vicki. Okay, so I've got the 9x14 hooped right here. And what we're doing, if you were not here yesterday, is we are making the, it's from Kimberbell. It's part of their Kimberbell Classics. This is a 3 hoop thing, okay? And we did part 1 yesterday, and didn't that turn out pretty? I'm at a loss. I think this is one of those where they say, trust the process, okay? Because I don't see how I don't need 2 more. I have 1 more piece of border for down here, right? So it's the opposite of this one. It didn't call for 2 more border pieces over here. And I don't know how that's possible. But whenever I've done a Kimberbell thing, everybody says, trust the process. And so that's what I'm going to do. Because sometimes it feels like it's just a little weird, right? Well, the dogs, Wendy, are out with Keith somewhere. They heard me start talking. I'm sure they're going to come in. The door's open. He might have taken them outside. I don't know. Okay. So we'll just have a little delay on the dogs this morning if they decide to show up. I'm sure they will. So also yesterday, where's the dogs, Keith? Oh, they're outside. Okay. So yesterday, I got, these are all cut and ready to go. And then here's that last border piece. Okay. And here's the piece that goes in the center. So I saw Michelle in our Facebook group she had attended a Kimberbell event, and this was actually a project they were doing, and that little Christmas tree that is part of it. So she put those out and took a picture of them and put them on Facebook, and they turned out so pretty. So pretty. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Cindy, on the hair. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've had other situations where she has done hair coloring on me, and I wasn't very happy, but it's the lighting in her room. So anyway, once she shoved me underneath one of those LED lights and she put the sample next to my head, I was like, oh, okay, because I kept going, that's too dark, too dark. But anyway, it does seem like I'm going to need some border, doesn't it, Betsy? Okay, but I'm going to trust the process. So this is one of those projects where they use thumbtacks to align hooping 1 and hooping 2. And some of you have never seen that before. And it's really pretty cool. So yeah, you see the instructions. I know, Betsy, it says 2 longer and 2 shorter. So that's what I did, 2 longer and 2 shorter, but we'll see. So we've got to bring up the design and hoop just the stabilizer for right now. Okay. And I'll show you guys. I didn't make a boo-boo, right? So here's the instructions where it says, oh, I do need 2 more pieces. It says fabrics BC, B-C, not just B. And then it says 2 each, 2 each. I do need 2 more pieces. How about that? I happen to have it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I didn't toss it in the scrap basket. That would be unforgivable. I think I still have it. We haven't had trash day. So I've got to find that. I don't think I put them in the scraps. I might have. I might have to go digging in my scrap basket, y'all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 2 each. Bessie says, that's what I was trying to tell you. All right, all right. Let me check my scrap basket and see. It's B and C. Did I put them in the scrap basket? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I don't know. Let me dig. My scrap basket is protected from Dottie, and so it's very difficult to get to because she is a huge fan of getting into things that she shouldn't. No, not in there. Okay, now I got to figure out what I did with those scraps because it was a fat 1/8 that I had cut. Oh gosh, you guys. I had them in my hand. I know I didn't throw them away. God forbid, right? I know I didn't do that. That would be sacrilege to toss those pretty plaid scraps. Y'all, I looked for more of that fabric, and I found a piece of it at a quilt shop on Etsy, and they wanted 12 something for shipping. It was going to cost me $26 all said and done for 1 yard of fabric. And I was like, I just can't do that. I had wanted to get a little extra for the backing so that the backing matched that plaid. But a hunt and a stash. That's right. That's what we have to do. Let me see if I can dig through here and find that plaid. What would I have done with it? Oh gosh, you guys, I can't not have. I know they're here. There's Dottie. There's Miss Dot Dot. There she is. There's my girl. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do I have to stop what I'm doing for you? I'm pretty sure I do. Where's Frito? Where's Miss Frito? Is she in the house? Frito says, Dottie says, I do not care about that dog. You have me confused. Is that your ball? You have me confused. What are you doing? Come over here. Come over here. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. There. Now they can see how pretty you are. Is Frito in the house? She says, I don't care about Frito. Give me a treat. You're such a good girl to sit so pretty. Yeah. Frito must be out looking at the deer, huh? There you go. All right. Bye-bye. There's Frito. Okay. Now Frito's going to get hers. Come over here, Frito. You were late. Tardy. Well, I'm glad you're in here as a distraction. I'm having a crisis. Yeah. Having a crisis this morning. Here. Go brush your teeth. Bye-bye. Frito, out. Go on. Out you go. We don't need any cord drama. Okay. So I have managed to lose my 8x12 hoop and my the rest of that fabric. Oh my word. Here we go. One at a time. It's because I haven't had coffee, y'all. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I need to put that quilt up too. I'm pretty dark. Pretty dark in the camera. Okay, so what happened to that scrap fabric? What happened to that? I have Christmas fabric all over this room right now because of all the projects I'm doing with y'all. That's all Starberry from Corey Yoder. I need the On Dasher. So yeah, $26. The project board is right here, right? And it's not on there. It only has the one. I am short that other plaid fabric. Yeah, $26 for 1 yard of fabric because of $12.50 shipping. I understand. Here's the thing. So we use pirate ship. If we're shipping just, if I'm not sending something through my Shopify store, because we have $5 flat shipping on the Shopify store, we have to change that to $6. We're starting to eat the shipping on the seam rippers. So Queen loves the black rifle. Well, good. What flavor did you get, So Queen? I like the just black. But anyway, so you can use pirate ship, even if you're not a business. Just go to pirate ship. If you have to send stuff out for Christmas, it's amazing. And if you don't live, I think if you're rural like I am, they have to pick up packages at your house. I don't have to go to the post office. I can just do a pirate ship label and you get decreased shipping from US Postal Service. So there is no way pirate ship is charging $12.50 for a yard of fabric that you can put into a soft pack, right? I mean, I can see $6.50, but $12.50, no way. No way. Well, y'all, we might be at a full stop this morning and have to do something else. And I would really hate that because I want to get this finished. So you got your prim fabric yesterday? Awesome. Yep. You've never heard of pirate ship? Oh, Sonia, I've used that for years. I love them. They'll email me and say, hey, the Postal Service is upping their rates for the holidays. So, we're going to have to increase ours a little bit, but then they always put them back down as soon as the holidays are over. They're very good about that. Oh, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Those scraps are here. They're not in the trash. I know they are in this room. They're probably with that 8x12 hoop. What do you think? Probably. Check my stabilizer stash. Yeah, I could. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Cannot believe I did that. Ah! I'm just going to go slow and not rush and just really try to look around here and see what I can find. So, so frustrating. Let's see. Hey, there's a pre-order for Sweetheart Street bench pillow from Kimberbell. That's fixing to come up. I'm going to be doing that. I don't have a link to it just yet. So I should have put a link to that Texas exploding heart pattern. Y'all bought the internet out of that. And Harriet said, you need to have an auction on your site. You'd make a ton of money. And I said, well, the pattern company just needs to come up with more patterns. They need to print more, right? It's not in a Yazzie bag. So let's see. I can't go get coffee, Eli. I have blood work as soon as we get done here. That's my whole problem. I haven't had any coffee. Yeah, haven't had any coffee. So now what? Now you're just going to get to watch me wander around my room looking for those Christmas scraps. I have some Christmas over here. Nope. And I would have put them with the rest of the on dasher. So, and they're not there. So that means they're loose. So I usually have this Kimberbell pillow up there. I had to put that away. Again, I was doing a Hoop Sisters event. You can't very well be doing that with Kimberbell all over in the background, right? Kind of a professional courtesy thing. I talk about being professional and then I don't have my stuff together and I can't find anything. I have a very colorful phrase for that, but I can't say it on the YouTube because I'll get in trouble. They're very particular about that. So this is cute. I showed this yesterday. I made this last year with y'all, I believe. This is a Hoop Sisters. I made that. Oh my goodness, y'all. I don't think we can do this. I've got to have those scraps for those border pieces. I absolutely have to have them. Where did they go? Where did they go? That's the background for that thing yesterday. Somebody wrote to me and said, would you consider doing a Q&A? And that's all you do once or twice a month. Just do a Q&A. And I thought, well, I know Corey Yoder does that. That would be okay if you guys wanted to do something like that. That wouldn't be bad. Y'all, I'll be danged if I can find those scraps. Where on earth? They would not be on my desk. I don't know. I don't know. Huh. There's only so much space in this room. That has me perplexed, y'all. Just, I don't know. Huh. That has me perplexed. So, yeah, it's not in the scrap bin. I took a look. And let me just double check again in the trash. Gosh, I hope I didn't throw it away. I mean, if I did and I find it, that's no big deal. But I generally, those are really good scraps. I wouldn't do that. Not on the long arm. Nope. I don't have anything on the long arm right now. So there's nothing. Well, Autumn Love is over there. I need to go over and take a look and see. No, they're not in here. I got a kit, a Halloween kit. It's called Oops. It's a witch that falls upside down in a cauldron. There. This is what it is, like that. And I got this. And black coffee is clear liquid. Yeah, Joanne. Is it Joanne? But I load Splenda and cream in mine. So I threw away the box. I got no use for that. That's just taking huge space, right? That takes up huge space. Okay, I'm going to go over and grab Autumn Love and see if those aren't on there. That maybe they ended up on that project board for some reason. But I'm certain they're probably with that 8x12 hoop I can't find. I had put a bunch of stuff down on the floor, and that was within Dottie range. And I found her dragging around some stuff. And I was like, oh, that's not for you. Nope, not here with Autumn Love. Goodness. Oh, that's frustrating, y'all. Here's Prim. Not there. Nope. Not in my scissor case from Kimberbell. Not in there. I'll be. Son of a gun. I'm certain it's with that hoop. I bet it is. Now what are we going to do? No, it's not in the tote. Now what are we going to do? Well, my goodness. I have no idea. That is so frustrating. Here's the rest of On Dasher. Right? I've got that plaid. That's no good. That's not the one I want. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Yay. Yay. Ooh, I hope I have enough. This is all I have left. This will work. Found them. They were with the fabric the whole time. Okay. So they're 2 by 7.5 or 2.5 by 7.5. What are they? 2.5 by 7.5. Okay. Found them. Woo! Goodness. Got them. Hooray. Yay. The search. Yay. The search was good. I'm going to turn you guys. I'm going to press these. They've got a good crease in them. Yes. Man, that was stressful. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Of course, I know, I hear people have horrible things happen to them, or they get sick, or they have this and that. And I tell Keith, I say, we don't have any problems. I always try to keep that perspective. So if the biggest stress in my life is I can't find a couple of fabric scraps for a pillow, well, that's okay. We don't want to sweat the small stuff. So let me cut these. Oh my goodness. Are they 2.5? Yeah, they are. Okay, so 7.5, just like this. Okay, now we can get to doing, okay, we spent the first 20 minutes looking for fabric. I'm telling you, yesterday was just crazy. So, but before the entire world, stressful. Yeah, that's me. It's just my life, you guys. Yesterday, I was trying to do, I was like, where's the stabilizer for the hooping I was doing on the Hoop Sisters thing? I'm digging around and digging around. I said, I know I cut that stabilizer. It had gone. It was just poof. Well, that was my brain, because when you're doing Hoop Sisters, you use battleizer. And I had the battleizer right on the project board, but I'd forgotten all about it. Maybe I'm too busy. What do you think? That could be it. Okay. So I was correct. It did look funny. It needed 2 more of those little pieces, and we're going to get going. So your mind is slushed because you misplaced it. I know, Betsy. All righty. Let's bring up design number 2, shall we? I have a camera here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me get out of the way there. Okay. So we're going to go to embroidery and the pocket for memory. Okay. And then, so anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. I sent it over wirelessly. When you touch the pocket for memory, I'll show you the pocket for memory on Brother and Baby Lock machines. They call it B pocket or whatever. So that's just a pocket, and you tap it. It's like you've got something in your memory, and I don't know. But now, which memory source do you want to get it from? Okay. So it has in the machine, and the machine is highlighted here in blue. So these are all the designs that I have in the machine's memory. That's all Autumn Love there. Then you could use the universal symbol for USB. Okay, they have that, which is in the side of the machine, of course. And then they have, you could use a mouse. I don't need that. You can use a chip on this. You have little radar waves for a wireless transfer. And then you might have something in the cloud, okay, coming from like maybe a scan and cut or canvas or something like that, because it has a cloud and another little memory pocket. But I'm going to go to the radar waves since I sent it wirelessly, and I am looking for part 2, and that's right there and set. Okay, and I'm just going to go to embroidery. I don't need to do anything else with it. Okay. So, all righty. So what it's going to do first is it says to put in some black thread, and it's going to stitch these 2 little tick marks. I'm just going to leave the brown in there. It doesn't matter that it's black or purple or whatever. It's just a different color that you can see. Okay. And that's what it's doing. I did read the instructions. Let me get my computer closer so that I can see what you guys are saying. So it's doing 1 up at one end and 1 up one down at the other end. Okay. Let me take these 2 pieces of border and put them on my project board. Okay. So one of the things you need to do, now I'm a hot mess over here. Look at this. If you're just joining us, we just did a hot and cold search for my couple of pieces of fabric, right? So one of the things you need to do before you try to hoop this second part is they want you to get rid of the extra stabilizer, okay? And it doesn't have to be super perfect. Oh, also, I wanted to show you guys before I got here. Let me go back to home. Okay. I did a Frankenbat on my batting. I didn't have enough. So see this seam right there? That is called a join stitch. And I'll show you what it looks like up close right there. Okay. But I needed actually like 2 more inches of batting. I cut mine in too short. So I told you it's not a big deal. I'll just fix it. So I just swapped out the embroidery foot yesterday and got a scrap of batting and then Frankenbatted that on there. And the way you do that, let me switch my camera, is you go into sewing, okay? And this is, oh, remove the embroidery frame. All right. So you go into sewing, and this is the Brother Luminaire, but it may be, if you don't have the Luminaire, then, or the Solaris, then it's going to be different, but I'm going to show you what it looks like so that you can find it. Okay. So on the Luminaire, they've got numbers across the top here, 1 through 5, and then Q for quilting. So it's on pattern grouping 2, and you touch that, and it's 2-08. Let me zoom you in so you can see what that is. 2-08. It's this one right here. Okay. That is a join stitch. And that allows you to stitch together 2 pieces edge to edge together. There's no overlap. And it's a very strong stitch. So if you ever go through your stitches, I know on the NQ 3700D, it is not that stitch number. It's different on my other Brother machine. So I just wanted to show you that. So I'm going to go back to home. That is the join stitch. And that is how I Frankenbatted. This is what the stitch looks like up close. So it's 2 straight edges right next to each other. Very handy. That is a great way for you to be able to reuse your batting scraps. And now you can use this with stabilizer too, but with stabilizer, I'll overlap it an inch and do a very wide zigzag because you can't edge to edge on the stabilizer. So I'm going to go back to home and back to embroidery and tell it okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Carriage will move. Okay. And let me put this back in here and bring my design back up. And there, set embroidery and needle plus minus and jump ahead 1. Okay, so that's where I was when yours says patchwork join stitch. Good, Janie. Okay. Yeah, those are very, very handy to do. All right. So what you need to do on this now is it wants you to get rid of your extra stabilizer, not your batting. Okay. So you could almost use the Tribburn by George for this. That would be handy. But I'm just going to very closely, you can see it better, from here. Okay. So you can use scissors. I'm just going to use a rotary cutter, but they just want you to get rid of this extra stabilizer. So folding the batting back over the top of the rest of the project. And then I'm just going to kind of freehand this. Okay. Get myself started. And I'm just running this side of this button on my rotary cutter right along the edge of the batting and not cutting it. I'm just going to cut the stabilizer only. And that's all we really needed to do there. Now that's a good size scrap as far as I'm concerned. And so I would save this. So can I use that stitch for the stabilizer? You can, but I would overlap them. You can't edge to edge your stabilizer. They need to overlap by about an inch, and it works. But a wide zigzag works just as well, so you don't have to go digging for that fancy stitch if you don't want to. Okay. All righty. So now I want to get my instructions, and I want to follow them and show you guys how we do the thumbtacks. Okay. I have my 2 little thumbtacks right here. I have them right, where did they go? They were right on that table. Did I drop them? See, y'all, I'm a hot mess this morning. Oh, Lord, don't let me get on the road. Ugh. My hoop attached smoothly. Yours doesn't. You might use a little beeswax on it and see if it doesn't go in better with that. Get some beeswax like we do to make metal zippers work better. Yes. Okay, we have USBs. Where did they go, y'all? They were right here on this. I had them right. Seriously, just, all right, I'm not going to do this. I'll get 2 more. Goodness sakes. I wonder if there's a little gremlin in here this morning. Took my hoop, took my fabric, took my thumbtacks. Okay. No, the scan and cut does not talk to the baby lock. No, it does not. Does not have that option. Is it a full moon? Oh, well, that'll work. Yeah, that explains a lot of it. I don't want thumbtacks on the floor because of Dottie. Okay. What a morning. I know. It's not the worst one I've had, so it's fine. Oh, they're right here on the... Oh, they're... This is magnetic. I told you they were right there. All right, y'all. So one of the things I did do is I went into my settings on my iPad and I set it to not auto lock. I put never. So you can do that on the auto. It's a brightness and display. And I tapped that and it went to auto lock and I told it never. So it's going to stay on. So it doesn't, it's not supposed to. I think that does it. All right. So we just did 20. It says change the thread to black and stitch the registration marks, which we just did. And then it says part 1 is now complete. Remove project from the hoop, trim excess stabilizer, do not trim the fabric. And we just did that. So now hoop stabilizer only. Oh, wait a minute. 122, load part 2 of the file, stitch the tick marks. Okay. Turn to the back of the hoop and place a tick mark, a thumbtack, a tick mark. Place a thumbtack exactly in the corner of each of the registration marks and tape to hold in place. Okay. I opened these thumbtacks and that's a disaster waiting to happen. Right? Okay. So it's talking about turn to the back of the hoop. So we're talking about the hoop, not the project right now. All right. So here's the project. I'm going to set this here. So what you do is you pull the hoop and you're going to turn it to the back. And you need to put the thumbtack right in the corner of those tick marks. They're an L shape and they're a big wad of thread. But just put your thumbtack right in the corner. So that's what it looks like from the back with the 2 thumbtacks. And that's what it looks like from the front. Okay, you can see the posts sticking up there. And it says tape them. So we will do what we are told and tape them. Oh, my edge. came loose here. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on that. Okay. Tape them in place. That prevents them from popping out while you're doing the realignment. All right. We're going to flip this back over now. Okay. Then it says the registration marks go on top of each other. Okay. So we stitched the registration marks yesterday. I don't know if you can see it. There it is right there, that little blue line right there. So there's one on each end, okay? Well, the hoop is too big because I can't find my 8 by 12. So I'm going to take that registration mark and I'm going to poke it, the thumbtack, right there, okay? Do that. Okay. Let me see. Maybe get a little closer there. That might help. Okay. And then this other registration mark, I'm going to poke it right through, right in that corner. Exactly. Right there. And it fits perfect. Imagine that. Right? Okay. So now we've done that. That wasn't too hard. Tape along the edges where the thumbtack is located. I'm running out of tape. Right here, tape along the edges where the thumbtack is located. Oh, hold on. I'm going to tape it to the stabilizer so that it doesn't, wait a minute. So my project doesn't shift. Tape along the edges where the thumbtack is located. Well, that's not doing any good right there. Right here, the edges of the project, the edges of the batting. Tape the batting to the stabilizer in the hoop so it doesn't shift. Whoop, I knew I was out of tape. Okay. I'm going to put one more piece right down here. Okay. There. I think I want it tape chicken. All right. So now what you need to do is flip this back over. You don't want to save this video. You'll have to fast forward it so you're not watching me hunt for fabric. Okay. I'm going to pull this tape off the back of this stabilizer, if I can get a hold of it, and remove the thumbtack. Don't leave them in there. Okay. Don't leave them in there. And get this. And pull that thumbtack out. Okay. So now the project is precisely placed. And I'm going to put this tape here again, just to make sure that it doesn't shift in the hoop at all. Okay. And that's how you do that. It's really an ingenious method. Smart, smart, smart. Okay. Let me put these over here out of the way. And now we're ready to go back in. You learned something today. Yeah, Gigi. I mean, I've done this before in Kimberbell classes. It's ingenious the way they use those little tick marks. Now, if you have Embrilliance Enthusiast, you can do the same thing. Because Embrilliance Enthusiast creates those little tick marks to split designs. And that's what that's for. Okay. Let me put this back in here. And now I need to change my thread color back to the green because that's the one that's going to be seen first. Yes. Why? You know what? Do I have this backwards? I know Quilt Wench. She says, once you get your coffee, everything will be right in your world. I know it. I'm wondering if I have this backwards. What is that stitch for? Let me look. Okay. No, I have it correct. I have it correct. Right there. Okay. My embroidery machine has a setting to stitch those tick marks. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Is that how you use the large magnetic hoop on the 10 needle where the design is split? Pretty much. Yep. That's exactly it. I can run a trace. Well, no, because I'm already in. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me read ahead and find out what we're going to do here. All right. So I'm taped down. Stitch the basting stitch. This stitch will help hold the project in place and prevent excess pulling. It will be removed later. Trust the process. Okay, I'm going to leave this camel color brown in for the basting stitch. And then I'll be able to pull it out easily. That is not a basting stitch. Good night. That's a whole, well, I'm not happy about that. I thought it would be like a big, long chunk, 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 chunk. That don't look like a basting stitch to me. It looks like a 2.5. Okay, change my thread color. 2.5 inch straight stitch is what it looked like to me. Well, Betsy, it didn't feel like a basting stitch, but okay, at least it's brown and it's easy to see and I'll be able to get it out, right? That's the whole idea. Basting. Basting is, you know, a 5 stitch width, right? A 4.5 or a 5. That's got me annoyed. Okay, doke. All right, so next is the line that's going to hold everything down here. I probably could have not done the basting stitch and been pretty happy. No, it didn't mess up the design, no. That's a serious basting stitch. I know, Debbie. Not just any old basting stitch. Okay. That annoys me. Oh my goodness, that annoys me. Okay, so now it's going to start stitching the Dresdens again. There we go. Dottie's barking up a storm, y'all. Ooh. Let's see. It's going to do 2 of them. All right. Ah, that's so sweet, Enchanted Stitches. She says, you get a giveaway every day by watching and learning on here. I know that coffee's going to be good. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to make it before I go. And that way, when I get, as soon as I get done in the chair with that vampire, I'm going to be able to take a sip of my coffee. What is the fabric line for my plaid, please? Oh, Lynn, it is on Dasher, and it is impossible to find unless you want to pay $26 for a yard of it from this one quilt shop I found on Etsy. And I love it. It's by Sweetwater on Dasher. Okay, so I had these numbered. This is number 1. This was 12. So I believe, yep, that's 1. And that fits perfect. And then 5. Very good. Like that. Okay. So that 6th one down here that was a little bit bigger yesterday, it actually has, this stitch came over the side of it. I could have used it, but it would have been still, it looked like a little short. So, well, it sounds like Frito has a bone and Dottie is none too happy about it. And it doesn't matter if Dottie has a bone. She wants the one that Frito has. And that we go through this all the time. Okay. That was the Jolly Box fabric from last year from the Fat Quarter Shop. I love it. I know that's part of what I'm using is that. This just matches my home. These warm fall colors, they just match my home so pretty. So the lime and red is very trendy and cute, but it doesn't go in my home. So, and y'all, I'm not a decorator. That's not what I do. Yes, Dottie's a toddler. You're right, Betsy. She wants everything. Oh, I didn't need to do that. That's the tack down. I need to jump ahead. See, my brain not working today. I'm going to jump ahead a stitch. There we go. And we're going to put down number 4. That looks big too. That looks a lot bigger than what I've got. All right. No, it is not my normal day. I haven't had any coffee because I got to go do blood work. So my life right now is off kilter. My whole world is off kilter. All right, number 4. Yeah. It is a little, nope, it fits perfect. Look at that. How about that? Fits perfect. So if you were not here the other day when we cut these on the Scan-A-Cut, I did a 0.3, it's 0.3, oh, ouch, millimeter increase on the size. All right. This didn't get all the way up to the top. I'm using hot fix adhesive, and when you iron it down, it's down and there's nothing for it. So you're gonna have to pull up. The fabric and the glue were soft, so that worked. Okay. I know as soon as I get done with y'all, I'll find that 8x12 hoop. This isn't even the biggest one I have. I have the 10x16 too. But that would just waste way too much stabilizer. All right. And I'm going to jump ahead a stitch and placement line for the next one. Okie doke. Will I remove that stitching through the center? Yes, I have to. It's a basting stitch. Yeah. You bet. Well, the stitch itself will be covered, but it's covered with white fabric. So you'd see it because I used a brown. So it'd be easier for me to pull. It's driving me crazy, you guys, but I'll do it. Okay, number 3. See, I numbered them. That's number 3. This is so fun when it works. It's so fun. And yesterday with Hoop Sisters was such a blast. I had so much fun with them. I just love Aubrey. She's such a sweetheart. She puts up with me. NPO, nothing by mouth is what that means. NPO. I worked at a hospital too. Medical records. NPO, nothing by mouth. O is oral. Mouth. It's all Latin, y'all. Oh, don't want that. Forgot. I'm going to jump ahead a stitch. Right? Oh, good. Finishing Enchanted Winter as a door covering table runner size. Very nice, Midge. No, it was 0.3. 0.3 was the inflate that I did on these. 0.3. Non per os. That's right. Nothing by mouth. Yep. Let's see here. And this fits just perfect. I've had water, but I don't want the sugar and the caffeine and all that, right? My heart rate is naturally a little high. I don't need coffee to help it. Definitely don't need that. All right. Perfect. Let me go to the next stitch, and it is the final cover stitch for the rest of the wreath. I want to get rid of this basting stitch. It's bothering me desperately. So yes, correct, Delweiss. It is 0.3 was the inflate that I did. And it turned out perfect. Really did. All right. So when you want to remove stitches on embroidery, you remove it from the back, right? And it just should just pull right out. And it does. But goodness. So I'll do another like 10 stitches, and then I can grab that tail. And in theory, it should pull straight out, and it does. So you can pull 4 or 5 to give yourself something to hold on to. Okay. Annoying. Ugh. Why didn't they make it a giant basting stitch? That was just not nice, right? Not nice. So I kind of use the back of the, I'm using a seam ripper, okay? But I'm using the back of the blade to kind of scrape a tail that I can get a hold of. And then I'll go down about, 10 stitches or so, and then I can pull that long tail out with all of the stitches behind it. That's a little easier than doing them all. Okay. There. So then, no, I didn't get them all. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, whenever you're going to undo embroidery, don't do it from the front. They tell, oh, there's my thread right there. They tell you, don't do it from the front. Would printable hot fix work in Snapplique? I would imagine so, sure. I'm going to cover in those stitches that made an indentation. Using my fingernail, just kind of scrape it along. Now, this is not Snapplique, okay, because we already have an embroidery design. Snapplique is when you don't have an embroidery design, you have a paper applique pattern. There we go. All right. Woo, getting hot. And let's go ahead now. Now I can, I didn't want, I guess stitches wouldn't have gone over those, but I didn't want that. Okay. And off we go. There. It's on. It's not going anywhere. Did I use SF101 on the white fabric? I used a fusible woven from Kimberbell. Yep. I sure did. Put that back. This is the thing. So part of the reason that I had such a hard time this morning is because I'm a very, I'm a very methodical person, and I try to be very methodical because I'm so squirrely and scatterbrained. I've got a lot of stuff going on up in here. I'm type A, and I'm real bing, 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 bing squirrel, right? You guys have seen me. So is my batting under the hoop? It might be. Thanks. See? That's how I roll. So when I had to do the stash and dash, and that was poor planning on my part, because yesterday morning I took too long to finish this. And we're going to have to quit here in just a minute because I'm supposed to be at the doctor at 9:15. But when I do this stash and dash, I just put things wherever, right? And that's not how I roll. Everything has a place, everything in its place. And that's how I find and keep track of all of my stuff. You guys say how productive I am and how organized I am. If I do a stash and dash, which is exactly what I did yesterday, that's why I can't find my 8x12 hoop. Now, the fabric I did put in the right place. I just didn't dig deep enough. But my hard drive is my brain. Have I tried to cut Minky on the ScanNCut? Oh, no, you don't want to do that. No, 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 no. You will have so much shred, you'll ruin your mat. I don't care what you've got on it. Don't do Minky. Minky is a poly, and it will shred and leave fur everywhere, all over your sticky mat. You have too much clutter in your sewing room. Yeah, Connie. So like every night before I go to bed, I clear off my cutting table and I put everything away. Everything has a place, everything in its place. And whenever I had my seam ripper in my hand just now, I went to go lay it down. I said, no, put it where it goes. Use the Dana K. White method. Take it there now. Put it exactly where it goes so that I can find it again in the future. And if I don't do that, I'm a mess, as you could see this morning. So I won't be finishing this with you guys today. See, here I am looking for stuff. All right. My thumbtacks. Yeah. They go in this drawer right here. At least I could find those. This is cut. I don't need this anymore. That can go in the trash. I don't need this on. I can turn that off. I need a roll of tape. I have my border pieces and my centerpiece. So I'm probably going to finish this today. I don't know. We might do it together tomorrow too. Finish up on the third hooping. I don't know. My ribbon came in it has a big red ribbon on the picture. And I didn't have any ribbons, so I ordered some. See the ribbon in the picture? I didn't have any ribbon. And I'm making the big one, so I got a 1 inch wide. I hope that works. I think it's too big. Too big. Oh, well. And my bin that holds all of my tools for embroidery. Right here. Ugh. That goes right there. Here's my 8x12 corrugated plastic. I know where that is. And it goes. I keep all of my magnetic hoops. I'll show you. I stand them up right here between the ironing station and this. And then my husband mounted a piece of wood on here with some dowels, and those hold my standard hoops, not the magnetic ones. So, all right. And I need to put my fabric back where it goes. Even though I just have scraps, I'm not going to get rid of them. Goodness sakes. Don't want to do that. Whoop. That's it. Our hour is up. All right, you guys, I got to go. So thank you so much for spending your morning with me. And thank you for putting up with me when I couldn't find my own head, even though it was stuck on my neck. So, no, I have not done the pieced block on Enchanted Winter. You're perfectly fine to ask that. That is the last one, and I want to get that done too. So we've got a lot going on. So happy bloodletting. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, you guys. All right. Uh-oh, we had a thread break. Yeah, that means it's time to go. I love y'all. Have a great day. I hope you get some time in your sewing room and you get to go sew something. Give me a thumbs up. Bye.